Are you looking for ideas to make presents for Christmas this year, or knitting, or considering not knitting solutions? Do you feel like you're running out of time to make too many things? Stay tuned to solve the problem of having too many presents and not too much time to do. It's doable, so see the links below for additional information. You can download my patterns to create balaclavas, cowls, and see how you could make these simple macrame bracelets. Making something like this type of macrame bracelet, which has a way to make it larger or smaller, a few different beads, and a very simple way to keep it all together. We will need super glue, scissors, beads that you would like to use. You'll need one macrame string, quite a thin one, and then you'll need another string, much longer, not tying with. I've gone in and put a sticky tape to, lock it in place. I've added just one little bead and two knots to keep it in place. It's going to become this bit that we pull, to make the bracelet tighter. So it begins with just a few simple macrame knot ties to kind of prepare for first bead placement. So you can just have a look how I do it. Okay, so what you want to do actually at the very beginning, and I sometimes forget that myself and pay the price later, is make sure that you distributed your macrame rope equally. So make sure you have it 50% on both sides. Okay, and then just when you put the first place, just again also leave quite a bit of length, so because that's going to be the length of the rope and for adjustment. So the first knot is just, I would say, the most standard macrame knots. So I'm gonna change direction, so the left side goes on top of the rope. The right side goes underneath, over through the loop. So hopefully this is visible. Let's just. Then we switch, then the right side goes over the top and the left side goes under the cross, over. Okay, and then we just put it close together. So in that way we're gonna get a straight line. So again, now we're gonna switch sides. Where we see this little small knot, we will want to basically take that rope in front of. Let's see if we can see it better like this. So because I see a little knot there, I'm gonna take this left and put it on top, form a little cross, and then take the right. The right goes underneath the cross, over through the loop. Oops. Let's see if we can do it a bit more in view. So I did 3 now, 1, 2, 3, 4, the last one. So again, now we see the little knot here on the right side. So the right rope goes over the forms the cross over the top, like so. Keep it in place, and then the left one goes from behind over to the loop, over the loop, and nice. So we have 5, and that's when I introduced the first little bead. Okay, so Christmas again. So because I'm making a rosary bracelet, so a decade, it's called a decade bracelet. I'm gonna use the special bead to denote the beginning of the rosary. So you can use whatever you're building for, you know, whatever you need to build. So okay, so now it would still be good to follow the knot as you were, to start the first knot below it. So because the knot is on the right side, we'll take the right side from a little cross, and then the left side goes underneath diagonally into the loop, and we can tighten it. Okay, so we just make it now nice and straight and quite tight. Nice. Just make sure it's going over the sides. And this is where I would introduce the super glue, because the shape is oval and I kind of wanted to not get out of place ever. We're gonna use the tiniest bit of super glue in these small corners. So, okay, just 4 drops. Just wait for a second to let it dry, and this is really enough, and it secures the medals in place like so. So they actually become quite a bit more even, I would say, preserved, like a little bit more resistant to wear and tear. Other beads, because they're round, obviously it's not going to be so much of a problem. Okay, I think I can continue. Again, we just observed that the knot was on the right, so it's going to be on the left now. Left goes on top. So I guess this year for Christmas I wanted to make a few presents for the little ones and grown-ups that are kind of cute and fairly easy to make. And I can make, let's say if I decided to do 10 presents, it wouldn't be impossible. 10 people. I think also handmade presents are also always well received. So that's why I chose to knit balaclavas for the little ones, because they're quite small knit projects and balaclavas are trending like a lot this year. And I think the bracelet, you know, you can easily, like, if you make the bracelet quite presentable, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. If you make the bracelet quite presentable, it could easily be perceived like to cost quite a bit. Like, you know, any jewelry, or, you know, these days is, you know, it's costs 10, 15 euros or pounds, or so it's like high perceived value. And I think if it's made in good taste, like, you know, the colors, the design, the rhythm, medals are all done in good taste, I think they look also quite expensive. I have one myself actually, and it wears well. Like, I'm wearing it a lot, like even to shower and everything, and I like how it looks. Like, it always complements the fashion. I did lose one of the beads, so I took a mental note that I need to do 2 knots so that one of the beads doesn't get lost. And it's functional, like I said, it's a rosary, so I do use it for, you know, devotional practice. So I find it useful, practical, and also quite beautiful. So but yeah, what about you? What are you making this year for Christmas? Like, do you want to make a lot of presents yourself, or do you choose to buy them, or, you know, do you want to challenge yourself to maybe not spend too much this year and keep the presents high value as possible? Kind of, maybe you can share some ideas of what you would be making to your family, and, you know, for others to, and I would like to learn as well. I still have time to prepare for Christmas. I would like to get some ideas of what to make to others, so just please share in comments, and maybe you know, if possible, share links where you have your work displayed. So moving to next the beads that are repetitive, I am changing the rhythm. So the intro beads had 5, the intro medals had 5 knots, like 5 macrame knots, and these ones will have only 3. And I find that it makes for quite a nice rhythm, quite a nice emphasis on the medals, and good size bracelet, good size bracelet. So if it went 5 the whole way, it might be a little too long, I would say, for some people. But yeah, so I'm gonna just pull my bracelet now to the very top of the sticky tape, and nice. Okay, so we see again the node is on the left, so it means left side is the one that goes over the top. I hope you got the rhythm. I think it's still good to just watch the videos that cover the macrame techniques itself, and that's how I do it usually. I just watch 3, 4, 5 videos of different people explaining it, because everyone has a different way of explaining the same thing, and I think between a few people's coverage you get actually the full picture. So watch on some videos on basic macrame knots and the techniques. I think this knot itself, like the way we are doing it, like we're zigzagging, gives you this straight line. If we were just to repeat the same, like left to right, left to right, left to right, over, then we would get like a twist, like a twisty motion. I guess you could do that as well, like a 3D bracelet rather than flat, because, well, the beads are also 3D, so it might even look good. Like you could just switch it up, like I'm switching the size, but you could totally decide to like not switch it up, and just keep it all, just from the same side going forward, and it will give you different results. Like I've experimented with the looks, and the first one I made was actually the one I'm wearing, so I thought there were some irregularities, but you can't quite see it. So, but yeah, I guess other than that, the topic Christmas, I guess there's a lot of initiatives to make Christmas more sustainable, or slow fashion, slowing down all of the consuming and so on. Secret Santas, a lot of places at least I am part of, they suggest to maybe buy everything from secondhand shops, or I guess this is not new, or like to make the present. So I guess we're becoming a bit more conscious consumers. So it's not even, it's kind of trendy even to say that you're going to make the presents yourself. Yeah, so you can see that this is coming together quite quickly. I think took time of how long it took me to make one bracelet. I think when I got into the rhythm, one bracelet came in 25 minutes, something like that. As you can see, like we've already done half of it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the medal. So it doesn't take too much time. And I think the idea, like maybe packaging ideas, I tried to put it inside the Christmas card and inside an envelope, and the envelope was nice and bulky. I actually sent one to Netherlands, and the envelope was nice and chunky, but not too chunky, so it kind of went through the postage system. And I thought actually that's maybe a nice way to package it, because you know, looking for little boxes, I found that those little boxes, you know, because they're quite also expensive, I would say. Just not sure why, maybe because the size of them make it a little bit tricky to make or something, but they're quite expensive. And I was also considering maybe organza bags, but then I guess you see the content a bit. But it would look cute in an organza bag, I think, a small organza bag. But the envelope and the Christmas card and the envelope also looked really good, and I thought, well, you can then choose really what kind of Christmas card you get, and it did end up looking presentable. So let me just see that everything is centered. Okay. Stubborn bead, another stubborn bead. You could even push the bead up slightly up, and then so it kind of has this pop out look if you wanted. Yeah. Okay. It's like with macrame, I find a lot actually, macrame knot tying, that the end look does depend a lot on just like the tiniest of tweaks with how everything is, you know, tied, like, or loose, or you know, if you adjust the knots itself. Yeah, I would definitely say that the neatness didn't come out that well at the beginning for me, but I guess the different people have different tightness and how they would approach it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more, actually 3 more. Okay. And yeah, so like, you know, this is like a simple macrame knot, but other ones like require actually just you know, massaging the knot into place, like I like to say. That I'll show some of the work. I think depending on what fiber you choose, or it can, you know, just make it a bit easier to work with. Like some fibers are a bit more slippery, let's say. And this one, for example, it feels a bit waxed. It's a little bit covered with wax. But as I'm wearing it, I would say the wax has disappeared, and now it just feels like a normal rope, normal fiber. But yeah, it looks good, and it kind of sticks a little bit, and it makes the work quite easy, I would say. Like, once I get it into place, it kind of tends to almost just hang there, so I don't need to fiddle with like making sure I hold it tight, like this part, while I'm tying another knot. So let's just see if I need to adjust it a little bit. Just move the whole thing a little so we can still see the end of it. So this is bead number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, almost the very last. Just 2 more left, 1 bead and 1 medallion. So yeah, so maybe I can say a little bit about this rosary. So it's a Catholic thing, or, you know, praying rosary every day, daily. has a practice that's called 1 decade is 10 prayers, and you have 5 decades, you pray 5 decades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, medallion came in too early. One more bead. And basically, so the standard would be 5 decades, but you can obviously use 1 decade and then just repeat it 5 times. And each decade has a mystery associated with it, like kind of a moment, a holy moment, let's say, that you ponder about, you're thinking about while you're repeating the prayer. So it's kind of a meditation with praying. I found that, you know, I find it really sort of relaxing and not nourishing. You could say mind and spirit. I've practiced other things in the past, and I just have to say that, you know, I go back to Catholicism firmly, and this prayer was like a bit of a game changer for me in my personal life. So okay, so 1, 2, 3, and we need to do 5 here because we're preparing for the medallion. So I guess you obviously don't have to make it to a spiritual practice bracelet. You can make it into anything you'd like. But I'm just saying, like, if you're practicing also spirituality, some of the bracelets that you can buy, not all of them endure such rigorous use, because like I said, like I'm sort of fingering the beads, and I'm going and sort of sometimes pulling, and you know, and this bracelet does sustain it, like it takes it well. And like I said, I've been using it for a month or so, and if I didn't take it to bath into showers, then I think it would last even longer. Okay, so last medallion. We're gonna use the super glue there as well. Okay, so let's just use the super glue. Just a tiny bit on each corner. Nice. Okay, 5 more. Three more, sorry. 2 more knots and we are done. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is done. So this is where, okay, so that's another place where we would naturally use super glue. So we're gonna cut this off quite close. Okay, and cut this other one too. Right. And it will use a bit of super glue. Okay, just to make sure it doesn't go loose or anything. And I think it's safe to say we can cut this now as well. Cut maybe just go with a longer one, and we can always adjust the length. And here we can tie those, well, place one more bead. That's going to become the pull lever. Okay, so 2 knots. Like I said before, I did end up losing 1 bead. So 1 knot, and then another one on top of it, ideally, if you can. It takes a bit of adjustment. Oh, I did, yes, manage it. Nice. Okay, So this is the, it does look a bit long, so I think I might just make it slightly shorter. So tie 2 knots lower, slightly lower. Okay. I see. So this is not good, like the 2 separate knots, and that's how I lost my bead. So I'm gonna have to tie a 3rd knot, but they need to go on top somehow. Oops. Okay. Alright, this time it's secured, and we can just cut it and cut another end as well. Okay, so now we have 2, oops, we have a bracelet like so. Looking quite finished, and we're going to just macrame it together over the middle, so this becomes connected. So we're gonna take one of the strings that we cut earlier, one of the shorter ones, so we want to keep the longer one for next project, next bracelet, the body of the bracelet. So we're gonna do the same knot, so form a cross, and then with the other one you go underneath and over, just the same knot tying. So this time we just adjust this and connect in place, and we do not tie it quite tightly, but obviously we want to keep a small bit of space. So the knot is now on the right side, we're going to use the right. Well, we don't want to leave space, but we want to tie it, but not extremely tightly, because it will have to move through this macrame eventually. So it's going to be used as little tunnel through which those 2 strings move through. So okay, 2, and maybe we use 5. So this little piece will also become part of bracelet, like a little module that when you tie closely, it connects the other sides of the bracelet basically. So okay. One, 2, 3, 4. One more. 5. And okay. Nice. 5. And the last one also will be cut and glued. So we cut it, move it. But here you have to be very careful using the glue. I've run into a problem in the first round. So you have to glue just the very corner where the string is, and use the smallest amount of glue so that it touches only that corner, because if it goes into the middle, then you won't be able to pull the sides. Nice. So just the corner on both sides. Just the corner. Oh no, maybe it's a bit in the middle. So it's possible to solve it by pulling the strings through, and it just adds a bit of friction, to be honest. So okay, so it's going through. Oops. So here is the bracelet. I would say that it's possible to make it a little bit neater, just tightening things here, but you know, it's an organic looking bracelet, handmade, has quite a nice profile to it, adds, you know, the brown rope makes it look a little seamless, and I think the silver medallions also just work nicely with the brown. Like I said, I like the look myself, so there you go. So it can go to quite a small size, with these beads hanging, or you can loosen it up and make sure that it fits to your wrist. So there you go. That's one of the ideas and how you can make it. It took about 29 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it.